Hi. So, I watched the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, and I also watched the Uncaged Fury trailer, and it was okay. Now, I watched the original Mortal Kombat in 1995. I thought that was probably the best video game adaptation film that we ever got. And that's a high bar for a lot of things. So I don't necessarily think that there's going to be anything that's going to really top that. But when I watched the Mortal Kombat reboot in 2020, when I was stuck indoors because there was curfew going on because people were rioting and being absolute lunatics, I watched that Mortal Kombat 2020 reboot, and it was a great movie for all of the first 20 minutes when you were looking at the whole thing with Scorpion and Sub-Zero back in the day in Japan fighting each other, whatever. I was just like, okay, this is a dope opening sequence. And then the rest of the movie happened, and it just like looked like trash. Steve Harvey, ass looking Jax. You had Cole, which was the creative character, and the more he got his ass beat, the more shielding he got on his body. You had Kung Lao getting done dirty. You got Liu Kang basically being pushed off to the side. It was just a mess. And I wasn't necessarily happy with what I saw. I paid money to rent that movie via Amazon Prime, and I was not pleased with what I got. And there was two instances of that happened during that year. It was that, and it was Halloween, the Halloween reboots, where they decided that they're going to have a separate universe that took place after the first Halloween movie. And Jamie Lee Curtis is just old and bitter and just crazy, fighting Michael Myers and locking him in a burning house, her burning house to be precise. I was disappointed with both. I saw Halloween Kills for free, and I was really disappointed with that. I wanted my money back for this free thing I got. So, only reason why I am iffy about Mortal Kombat 2 is because I was burned by Mortal Kombat 2020 reboot. So, I'm not really excited for this. If I were to see this, it would have to be on streaming services, and this would have to be something that was actually available to Amazon Prime users and not something I would pay money to rent. Like, it'd have to be basically just a standard Amazon Prime or Stars based thing, whatever. I refuse. But there was something that popped up, which is Tati Gabrielle as Jade. And I was like, oh, the backgrounds for this looks great. And then she pops up and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm really interested in this at all. That just killed all my momentum. Because my personal thoughts on this is, how much of a chore is it as an actress to exhibit the qualities of the character instead of the characters being forced to exhibit the qualities of the actress? The reason why I'm saying that is because as an actress or an actor, you see actors and actresses sinking into the role. You have method actors that exist that are basically out here putting makeup on themselves, changing their appearance, all like losing weight, going through all this stuff just to look as close to the people they're portraying as possible. And that's a level of dedication and a level of respect to the craft that you would imagine more actors and actresses would follow. But then you have people that, for some reason, they think that they're bigger than the character they're portraying, and they refuse to actually go the extra mile to be that character and actually portray the character properly. And that's the problem that I'm seeing with this situation. Now, there's a lot of people that exist here that are going to try to make it an argument that, because it's a woman, you have a problem with this character. And no, we're past the point of being a woman makes you immune from criticism. I think ultimately you have to start taking some accountability for your actions. If you choose to do this, if you choose to, I'm gonna make this character look like me more so than I'm going to look like this character, then you open yourself up for the criticism, and there is justifiable criticism. This being a woman means you're immune from criticism bullshit needs to end. You are not immune from criticism. You are not bigger than the character. You are not more interesting than the character. And seriously, if you're going to do this shit, I have no interest in wanting to see the product that you're in. Because apparently you didn't care enough to want to portray the character properly. So therefore, I don't care enough to open my wallet to give you any money. And I think that's the best possible outcome to the situation. Now, there are people out here that want to defend this and make this into a talking point or a hill to die on or a culture war hill to die on. And it's just not working anymore because I don't think people really give a shit like that anymore. I think it's coming to the point now where people are just tired and they can watch other things. Their money is best served on things that are actually respecting of their time and effort and other things like that. I don't think that bullying somebody into wanting this or bullying somebody into watching this or whatever, I've never thought that was a great idea. I think you're stupid if you're basically going to go down this road of trying to shame people into watching this or whatever. And obviously it kind of tells me that you're either being paid for or you're the advertising team pretending to be an account that actually has any say of relevance. So let's see what this fool has to say. Honestly, the way people are crying about Tati Gabrielle Jade, I kind of hope they make her bald in the next MK game, just as a big fuck you to that group of Jade fans who don't care about her character and only care about objectifying and sexualizing her. This is stupid. He comes back later on and says, oh, well, this is a joke. Yeah, I think that's because nobody's really fucking with you on this one. That's a really dumb take, my bro. Sexualizing character is putting hair on them. How about respecting the character is putting hair on that character? If you can't even be bothered to do something so simple as to just put on a wig or whatever to pretend to be the character, I don't have to fucking respect anything you have to say. Because you are clearly only doing this, and to me this looks like you basically made a conscious effort to go as far away from the original design because you wanted to be notable or you want to be visible, whatever. It's like Pedro Pascal in The Mandalorian deciding that he didn't want to wear the mask anymore and he wants to actually be seen as a character because that gives him a little bit more clout and whatever. I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, if you're really that great at acting, your acting prowess will shine through and that'll make you that much more notable of a actress or a celebrity or whatever. So I think you're full of shit. If this is the reasoning for this behavior or this action, then you're full of shit. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna let's see what Gemstar Gold has to say. Wanting a character redesigned like this out of pure spite is one of the most toxic things a fan can want, which I agree. I'm not actually being serious. They won't make her bald in the games, but people are massively blowing this out of proportion and giving Tati unjustified hate over it when she still looks pretty. So I made a joke out of it and a jab at them. No, my guy, you basically, you're out back and you're trying to figure out to get back in the house. I think the funny thing about this is that it's not the fact that you think she's pretty being bald. That's fucking fantastic. Good for you. Good for you. If you don't respect the character enough to at least try to look as close to that source material as possible, I don't have to watch your film. I don't respect you as a person. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm tired of this shit. This whole I'm more important than the person I'm portraying thing. It just shows me that you're not a great actress and you're just basically trying to be an activist more than an actress. We got a lot of activists. We don't have a lot of actresses and actors out there. So there's a whole ass article. Mortal Kombat 2's Jade being bald is really bothering some people. By Vaspan Dastur, if that's your real name. Yesterday, Mortal Kombat 2's trailer gave us a proper look at Johnny Cage as he's introduced in the Deadly Tournament, along with Carl Urban's portrayal of the washed-up actor. We got a bunch of new faces as well as Baraka, Sindel, Shao Kahn, and Bihan as Noob Saibot will join the cast. of the first movie, including everyone's most hated character. However, all the talk seems to be about one of the new characters, Jade. Is there really? Because Shao Kahn basically just digging somebody out from behind. Shao Kahn over here giving back shots and some diabolical work, I tell you. Johnny Cage like doing whole ass Jean-Claude Van Damme split jumps over rockets was more interesting. The fact that Jade pops up like that, I'm just like, you really couldn't help yourself, could you? All these characters getting introduced and you really couldn't help yourself, could you? In Mortal Kombat lore, which is convoluted to say the least, Jade is Princess Kitana's bodyguard as well as a close friend. At times, she's also played as a body double for the princess. Her most recognizable features is her green garb, bow staff, and the rest evolving over generations. However, some fans aren't happy with her being bald in Mortal Kombat 2. Now, you just kind of told on yourself at this point. You laid out a critical flaw in your argument. So, if she's the body double of Kitana and Kitana has hair, how the fuck are we supposed to be doing this shit? She wear a wig in the movie to make herself the body double or whatever? Is that where we're going at with this? Because one of these things does not look like the other. And I don't want to sing the song, but kind of almost getting me to at this point. Jade is being played by Tati Gabrielle, who most of you have recognized as Nora in season 2 of HBO's The Last of Us, and the protagonist for Naughty Dog's upcoming Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. In all these productions, Gabrielle has been bald either by choice or due to overlapping schedules. It really doesn't matter. It only takes 5 minutes to put a wig on, my guy. Your hair's already bald. And so put the wig glue on, put the wig on, and call it a day. Just put the shit on. And I understand, maybe the bald thing is your trademark. Maybe that's your thing or whatever. Perhaps it's my fault for actually wanting people to, if you're going to be an actress or claim that you're an actor or an actress, that you'd be willing to sink yourself into the role, like dye your hair, wear a different outfit, kind of make yourself look like characters that you're trying to portray. Maybe that's my fault for wanting a bit more out of this presentation than just bald chick playing a bald chick in a bald chick show about bald chicks. Maybe I want something a bit more. Maybe I'm expecting more out of you than what you're giving. Because to me, it sounds like this is some one-trick pony bullshit. In all these productions, Gabrielle has been bald either by choice due to overlapping schedules. It really doesn't matter. It kind of does, brother. If I were playing a character, if I were an actor in a film, whatever, and I'm a bald dude, like say it's a 90s movie or whatever, and I have to shave and put on a fake fade cap or some shit like that, I'm gonna do it. Because that's what the scene, or that's what the role calls for. All you're telling me is that they can't go beyond just the surface level bullshit. They can't be bothered to even try. And that's sad. That's really telling me like everything I need to know about this person. So while the trailer looks great, Carl Urban looks out of place in more ways than one. The Mortal Kombat subreddit can't stop harping on the fact that Jade is bald. It sounds like you're angry about this. Apparently the character whose trademarks are green clothes, a bow staff, is unrecognizable because she's bald. Well, it took me a minute to figure out who the fuck she was, because when I saw her, I was like, well, who's this Okoye looking broad? Because you look like Okoye from Black Panther and shit. And I thought she was Tanya at first. I didn't realize that she was wearing green. All I saw was some bald, dark-skinned broad. And I'm like, Tanya? Because I didn't see that she was wearing green or whatever. That's the first thing I saw was the shine off this broad's head. And I know I'm one to talk, but at the same time, bald recognized bald. From simply complaining about it to comparing her to Devora, even photoshopping hair onto the character, there are all sorts of posts complaining about the character's lack of hair. Like it's going to make any difference to the plot. There's a level of believability, there's suspension of disbelief, there's all sorts of other stuff that are actually part of this conversation, but you're not choosing to have this because you want to make an argument. The problem is that if I'm supposed to believe this character is Jade, and Jade for years looked a certain way, and you decide to go against that for whatever reason, then I have every right to complain about that because you're not giving people what exactly it is that they were expecting. And this whole you don't have to be the audience bullshit is tired and he needs to go. We're not doing this. You're not getting away with it this time. Sorry. As with such petty complaints, there are just posts making fun of them and even jokingly asking why Baraka and Jax are bald. Well, Baraka's bald because he's been bald since Mortal Kombat 2. Jax looks like Steve Harvey in the first movie. The real Jax, the Jax that I give a shit about, he has a fade and he's got spandex on. Todd Garner, producer of the movie, even said that there's a reason behind Jade's look. They need to watch the movie to see if it makes sense and know that there's a plan for her as the franchise continues. See, this is exactly that bullshit that I was talking about. You gotta watch the movie to see if it's shit. It's the Nancy Pelosi bullshit. We gotta pass the bill to see what's in it. So I have to watch this movie to see whatever bullshit excuse he made or whatever, instead of maybe waiting till the movie comes out, catching it on the wiki and just letting it be or whatever. I'm not spending money on this. I can't in good conscience spend money on this. I might actually have to settle for watching this movie with the 1xBet logos on the bottom of it. If you know what I mean, if you catch what I'm saying. But I can't in good conscience spend money on this movie. I'm sorry. I like Carl Urban. I like him in Dredd. I heard Taika Waititi is making the next Dredd film, which puts a lot of my faith in that in question. To entice me with Carl Urban and then try to lure me into some weird trap where I have to look at all this dumb shit. Brother, I don't know. I can't in good conscience fuck with this. Again, look at Jax over here. This is fake ass Steve Harvey. I'm fake ass Steve Harvey. This motherfucker looks like he's about to throw a punch and yell out, "Cerveza!" Oh, for crying out loud. Anyways, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me for this. See you next boss fight. Take care.